think opposites attract, because if you have too many things that are the same, they get boring. So if you have things that are contradicting and you're kind of arguing each other, it works better.
I think birds of a feather flock together makes more sense. Well, to me, I agree with that one more because it's, I don't know, when people have common interests and they have something to talk about and they can communicate about that, it takes time. And then essentially flocking together at that point. But yeah.
It definitely is important. If you're not attracted, then that's the first reason why you're even talking to the person. So I don't think it really works if you're not attracted to them.
I feel like it's not the most important feature, but it does count for something. It's like, yeah, contributes.
Intimacy is a huge part. I don't know, if it doesn't work, then the relationship is not really going to work. So if the intimacy is not working, then it's just a friendship, really.
I think intimacy is essential to the relationship, but communication is essential to the entire relationship, especially the intimacy part. Because if you go in and you're not communicating, then it's going to be a bad time.
Well, physical intimacy obviously creates a connection with that person. It obviously makes a really strong bond, but also there's emotional intimacy that's important because you need to know what's going on with the person when you're dating them so that you can better understand their behavior and their person as a whole, and how you can't really support them if there is no emotional intimacy, because then you don't know what's going on and you don't know if they probably need support, like in their work life, in their love life, and in their family life, and all kinds of different things like that.
I mean, I think relationships are all based on trust, and so like, especially for like, if you're able to like be intimate with somebody, whether, like I said, like emotionally or like physically or whatever, like it kind of shows that you guys trust each other and that like as a unit you'll become stronger, and that's what relationships are. Like they're always like developing, and the more intimate you can be with somebody, the better it is.
I think intimacy is definitely important because when you have a relationship with somebody, it's just the two of you, and you're not intimate with everybody out there, obviously. So that really builds your connection, and it's something that the two of you share in common. And there's also different kinds of intimacy, right? Like there's like sexual relationships, and then there's just like having deep conversations and letting out all of your feelings and really getting to know the other person on all different levels. So like sexual, their ideas, their thoughts, their feelings, their opinions, everything about that. You really get to know the person on all sorts of levels.
I think intimacy is broken down in different sections depending on where the relationship is. I think intimacy is a very important part of developing a relationship, but you do have to take steps. So I think I'm not even quite sure how to say it. It progresses as the relationship grows, and I think honesty and everything else has a lot to do with that as well.
I think a lot of people are going to say, you know, obviously, like the people need to be loyal to each other. They need love. But for me, I think for a really long-lasting relationship, the most important thing would be consistency. So if you want to be with someone for a really long time, you need things to be consistent. You need that support to be consistent, that love to be consistent, that like support of each other to be consistent throughout your relationship, whether you're going through stuff or not. So for me, I think the most important thing in a relationship is consistency.
I think trust is like the most important thing. Like you have to be able to trust your partner and that they have their best interest in you, and
definitely trust, loyalty, honesty, And all of these things really go hand in hand, because if you're being honest with the other person and they're being honest with you, then that builds the trust, that builds the loyalty, because you know that there's no cheating involved. And I think also one of the most important things is definitely communication, because if you're not able to express how you feel or bring up any sort of issues, then there's no way to really resolve any issues without proper communication.
Honesty is a very, very true part of it. I think being yourself and communication, I think, is a very strong part of a relationship, healthy relationship.